What is up, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Unspecified Podcast. Forgive the late stream, guys. I'm looking for a little grace. Okay, we're behind schedule. The house has come down with something. We're not feeling great. Okay, I appreciate a little a little grace. Okay, be sure to smack like on today's video, guys. It truly helps us out. Rewatch crew, leave some doobly doos down in the comments. It's a blessing, guys, and we thank everyone for their support. Shout out to the channel members. You guys truly make this possible. As always, we've got a ton of topics to get into tonight, man. A lot of very important topics. And the largest talking heads, they're trying to pack this up for each side of their audiences. You know what I mean? They're either outright avoiding it. Genesis, what's up? Good to see you. Welcome in. Okay. Or they're talking about these very vaguely, but it's gonna be all right, because it has to be, because this booger is gonna keep choo-choo training. It's good. This thing, it's gonna keep humming its way down the track. Okay. Now, whether or not it's all on fire, is a different story. Hillbilly, what's up? Dragon Slayer, what's up? What's up? All right. We've got a lot of important topics to get into tonight, man. Pray for me. All right. We're still going through it with whatever this is. And we're just trying to make the best out of what we've got. We thank Jesus for this day and for blessing us with the strength to be able to go live. It's a blessing. Golf and Guns, Dragon Slayer. What's up, guys? Good to see you. The Lone Silencer, my man. What's up? Good to see you. All right. Yeah. A lot of talk, a lot of stuff going on. Just some stuff I just have to bring to you guys. I'm very excited to show you and talk with you about it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get ready for that. Progressive Patriot, what is up, brother? What is up? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Dude. All right. Bear with me, guys. I'm gonna be well, for those of you who've been paying attention, we're ill. Okay, so we very much would appreciate your prayers for healing, and a swift recovery. Also for our friends, we know some other folks who have whatever this illness is. So, it's an honor on my end, Progressive Patriot, dude. Glad you're here, helping the rhythm here. About to jump back to Team Green, my man. Okay, punt that like button, leave a comment, and share the show, folks. Yes, it'd be very appreciated. And it's a little thing we've been doing here. After the YouTube, just a warning: the YouTube live stream will end. There are topics that we can't necessarily cover here on YouTube, and we're going to continue the show on Rumble, but that won't be for quite some time. Okay, but just a warning. All right. If this YouTube video ends, likely you've missed out something over on Rumble. Okay. Same thing for you guys over on X. All right. Rumble is the place, guys. I'm telling you, I'm really getting cozy over there. I'm really liking it. All right. Now let's just get through some of this current event stuff. I'm not going to run through it too fast, but the meat of what I want to get into is later on here. Okay. So just in, President Trump, I thought this was a big deal. This is a big deal. Okay. President Trump says, all right, hold on. Let me bring this closer for you. Oh, hold on. There we go. We'll do it over here. All right. Just in, President Trump. They said to me very nicely, through my people, could we have more time? And if they don't do what they have to do, I will knock out their power plants. And so I gave them a 10-day period, which is really woo. You know what I mean? Because what's in exactly 10 days? Easter. I mean, come on. I mean, the timing of this lines up. I'm just seeing it very possible, okay, that something very sketchy could be coming down the pike here. All right. I think we can all feel it. All right. But more specifically, I'm speaking about 10 days after this 10-day period. That's just enough time for forces to mobilize, get traps set, mines. It's just enough time. There's no telling what to expect necessarily, but we'll get into some possibilities later on in the show. But at first, I just want to play a couple of clips here. All right. I also this wording. They said to me very nicely, very nicely. Who's buying this? Not that I'm saying he's outright lying, but I mean, it's I grew up with salesmen for parents, so forgive me, they're a little schmoozy, and so I tend to not believe everything that I'm told. Sometimes folks are trying to sell you on something. Uh, very nicely. Is that why? Is that why we're giving them 10 days? Because they were very nice? You know? Um, it's interesting because this war started right before Purim, which is a Jewish holiday, and now we're on the Christian holiday. That's right. That's actually right, and Easter being colloquial. It might be a little early in the show to get deep talking about, Easter meaning Ishtar and stuff like that, you know, but definitely in the Rumble section. Okay, when the YouTube live stream ends, we'll get into a little deeper. Um, who knows? Is the new slogan with all the disinformation? Exactly. I'm so glad you said that, Progressive Patriot. Um, and I mean, with all the propaganda, just wait. You want to talk about propaganda? Stick with us, okay? When we get into the meat of the show here, you're not going to want to miss. At this point, man, with everything being said, uh, I'm not sure who I necessarily believe, but I know one thing is that I think it would be very foolish to trust uh, any major institution right now. Okay, they got a market. Okay, they've got things to think about. The bottom line here, and if they've got to lie to you, you better believe they will. Forgive me, guys. I'm not feeling well. Oh Lord, that's super great on the stream etiquette there. I'm sure. Let's go ahead and listen to this clip.
Energy plant destruction by 10 days to Monday, April 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern time because the negotiations are going very well. I would never ask you to reveal to the public specifics, but could you broadly characterize where we are at?
Well, the Iranians asked me to do that, and I was not happy with them because I made a statement that we're having productive negotiations. I don't know that they get there. Maybe they do, maybe they won't. I mean, look, in a certain sense, we've already won because we've knocked out their Navy, we've knocked out their Air Force, completely knocked out their Air Force, just about completely knocked out. We knocked out 154 ships, and pretty good ships. In fact, I said, why don't we just take them instead of sinking them? We could have used them ourselves, right? But they like showing how tough they are. They like them at the bottom of the sea, probably a little bit better. But think of it. We knocked out their Navy. We knocked out their Air Force. We knocked out most of their missiles. They're down to about 9%. We knocked out their missile launchers, which is a big deal because without the missile launchers, the missiles don't do very well. You can't go to your window and say, let's throw a missile out of the
Golf and guns. It's good to see you, man. Progressive Patriot says prayer is all I have left, and I relate with that, man. We much like yourself and stuck in the middle. I almost say that like every night now, being in the middle here. Okay, a staunch independent or leave me the heck alone. I wish I could say I was libertarian, but unfortunately, my eyes were open to, it's not necessarily good to just let everybody do whatever they want. You know what I mean? Even if it ain't hurting somebody else, dropping a needle in the park is somebody doing whatever the heck they want. Not to start up a political discussion and debate right here, right now. All right. I'll back off a little bit, guys. I'm also not feeling well, so I'm flying off tonight or last night and tonight. Craig the Hunter brother, good to see you, man. Welcome in. Welcome in. I totally relate with that, man. It's like prayer is all we got left. Genesis says YouTube chat is acting up. I heard a lot of that last night as well, man. Mrs. Unspecified says to make sure to hit all messages. Hold on. Let's stay over here. Is it the live now button or what? Filter. You need to hit all messages, or you can just hop on over to the Rumble. Okay, YouTube been off since after Charlie Kirk. Well, especially if you want to get into any topics talking about, a certain kind of microphone, stuff like that. But I suppose we won't get into that at the moment. I'm part of the anti-stupid non-party. Yeah, exactly. Just wait till the middle of the episode, guys. Okay, because the videos, the clips that we found, the sentiment in the nation. Okay, a uniform wearing. Well, just wait, guys. Just wait. Okay. Stay with us. Let's see. So he's going on talking about, maybe they like their equipment at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, and we knocked out all of their communications, their telecommunications, and very importantly, we knocked out their anti-aircraft apparatus, which was very good, but it didn't last long because we hit it the second night, and we're just free flying right over the middle of Tehran, do whatever we want. And one other thing we knocked out was their leaders. So we knocked out the supreme leader, as they called him, Khomeini. We then knocked out, they then named another one. We knocked them out, and we knocked out part of the third group. And we're just holding for the rest. We know where they all are. And it's one country that does not want to be, you have very few people want to be the leader. Everyone wants to be president of the United States. Everyone wants to be president or whatever, prime minister of a certain country. There are not a lot of takers to be the head of Iran right now. I will tell you, they're all fighting not to. We don't want that position. But they asked me if they would, Kaylee, importantly, they said to me very nicely through my people, could we have more time? Because we're talking about tomorrow night, which is pretty quick. And if they don't do what they have to do, I will knock out their power plants. And he said, does that include nuclear? Because they have nuclear, plenty of money. They have a lot of money, and they built nuclear and they built regular power plants, but they're massive and very expensive, billions of dollars. And so I gave them a 10-day period. They asked for 7. You're going to say, oh, Trump's a terrible negotiator. They asked for 7, and I said, I'm going to give you 10 because they gave me ships.
And the rhetoric sounds great. Like it's a lot of victory. It's a lot of, we're free flying. We've knocked all this stuff out. They don't have a Navy. We've done so great. Then why isn't this over? Right? I think the situation is not as, rainbows and unicorn farts as they're selling it. We also have a market to keep calm, at least throughout the week. Okay. Speaking of the market, we've got news on that as well. We'll get into that here in a little bit. All right. Trump on coalition to secure the Strait of Hormuz. We have a coalition formed, but they should have been up here a long time ago. And they're affected more than us. Going to hear a lot of talk about stability. Okay. Don't forget about the market. Okay. Cinnamon, what's up? What's up, Cinnamon? Aussie bastard, what's up? So foolish to give the enemy more time to prepare. Exactly. Patriot lady, much love. Good to see you. Welcome in. Some O2SS. Trump is the same snake as all of the others. You better believe it, man. I'm not anti. I'm just, I have always found it difficult to trust anyone that holds that position. Ever since, you could say it about all of them. I'm not a crook. That's going maybe a little too far back. And the first ladies that, basically we have, we were talking about it earlier. Melania getting into what is it with the robotic education, automated. Yeah, so we're gonna have AI, teachers, because there's abuse on both sides. I mean, I don't think I can get on Facebook without seeing some kind of sexual allegation or against a teacher, or some sort of teacher being arrested due to abuse, abused a kid, or maybe it's the other way around. Especially with all the ICE walkouts where you see teachers getting abused, and it doesn't even have to be a protest. We see reports all the time of the good teachers not being able to handle it, and then we also have reports of more far left teachers who are specifically there. Their goal is to indoctrinate and keep secrets about the sexuality of the children. Can we tell your parents about your, that's just opening a door. Okay, so we've got a solution for that, and it's robots. All right. Okay, Mrs. Unspecified. It's a slippery slope. In Elysium, he has to report to a robot PO officer, and he's rude to it and gets charged. Yeah, that's right. It's a federal offense to verbally harass a PO officer in the movie Elysium. AI teachers is a horrible idea. Folks, homeschool your kids. Yep, robot cops, everything. Yeah, slippery slope's not even the word, man. We're definitely working our way there. All right, let's see what's he say about this. And don't forget, guys, a lot of this, just be careful because it's projecting, not necessarily we're projecting strength right now.
We're looking at a coalition of ships to help, warships to help protect tankers. How close are you to getting that coalition?
Well, we have a coalition for them, but they should have been up here a long time ago. And, they're affected. The amazing thing is we don't need the Hormuz Strait. We don't need it. We don't need it at all. We have so much oil.
Then why are our gas prices going up? Since we don't need it. We've got so much oil. Dopey dude. What's up? What's up, dopey dude? Terminator was prophetic. Yeah, it was. More of a cliff than a slope. It's true.
Our country is not affected by this. We have twice the amount of oil as Saudi Arabia or Russia, and soon it'll be 3 times the amount. Chris, do you want to speak to that for a second?
Yeah, that's correct. Our total oil production is greater than Saudi Arabia's plus Russia, and more than we consume in the United States. So we're the largest.
Pretty good. You know what they call it? Drill, baby, drill.
Yes. Mr. President,
anything else you want to say?
Well, same thing for natural gas. We went, before your first term, we were the largest exporter of natural gas in the world. Today, we're just by far the largest. We were the largest importer. Now we're by far the largest exporter, and it's growing rapidly this year. New facilities are coming online. Production is ramping up.
We're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, it's 100% based on a world market, a word market. He says one thing, 10 minutes later, the markets, they do this, says another thing, and the markets crash. Speaking of, okay, we have U.S. dollar bills to be printed with President Trump's signature, removing treasurer signature for the first time. Let's see here. U.S. Department of the Treasury. Let's see. Treasury announces President Donald J. Trump's signature to appear on future U.S. paper currency. In honor of the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump's signature will appear on future U.S. paper currency along with the Secretary of the Treasury, marking the first time in history for a sitting president. Okay. I don't know. Let's see. IDF chief of staff, Ela Zamir, warns army could collapse on itself amid soldiers' shortages. So that's not looking too good. Okay. Let's see. I was reading something else about that. Israel and U.S. make them busy itself on different fronts, and fighting on different fronts would obviously collapse army. Yeah. Okay, U.S. judge temporarily blocks the Pentagon's blacklisting of Anthropic's AI tools on Reuters. Today it's Anthropic. Tomorrow it could be every AI company caught between power and policy. There's that slippery slope, man. Okay. So Yemen's Houthi leader warns it will enter the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran if the conflict continues to escalate. Oh, really? So we're seeing this. All right. Iraq said they'd join. We've got Russia helping Iran, China benefiting from Iran. I don't know, guys. I think there's a bigger picture here that we need to zoom out. That's right. 42 to enlist now. I declare that we will never hesitate to perform our Islamic duty of jihad for the sake of Allah Almighty against tyrant of this era of the Zionist Jews and their American arm. Any development in the battle require a military position. We will do so with confidence in Allah Almighty, and trust you in the previous rounds. Yeah. So what I'm saying is it's a sign of backup. All right. And what we're hearing from our leaders is, this is over. This is, we did have reports where President Trump himself said this is basically over. The only reason it's not is because of fake news. I mean, who does he think he's talking? I mean, how dumb does he expect, and now the rhetoric is switching back to Democrats bad. We're going back to the original red versus blue. You notice that kind of, we know what we think about, liberals, and we know what liberals think about everyone else, right? But there's a big manipulation going on, guys. Huge psyop going on, man. Bigger picture stuff is happening. Just in U.S. State Department transfers $1.25 billion with a B of foreign aid funds for international disasters and peacekeeping to Trump's Board of Peace. Okay. At least it's not trillions, right? Yet. VP Vance likened Iran developing a nuke to a suicide bombing in a crowded supermarket.
When I say options, I think it's important the American people know options for what? And it's options to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. You talk about people who walk into a crowded supermarket and have a vest on, and they blow up the vest and a couple of people get killed, and that's a terrible tragedy. What happens when what's on the vest is not something that can kill a couple of people, but can kill many, many tens of thousands of people? That is the most important American national security objective that exists for any administration at any time, is you don't want the worst people in the world to have a nuclear weapon. That's why the president is doing this. That's why the president cares so much about this particular issue.
It's solid, but it's like any evidence is classified or doesn't exist. So prove it. You know what I mean? Israel did a preemptive strike, truth be told. So it's not that it's not valid. It's a good point. But, like Trump saying this is over. The only people who are talking about it is fake news. It's not over. That like we're getting lied to. It's like that's what that job's position is to do. It serves as either a way to let whatever snake administration was running, Obama and Biden's midterms and potentially Kamala's if she won. And then there's the Bush, the Reagan, the Trump energy, where they are either going to make everything better or war hawk. Right. So with the midterms coming up, we can expect psyops and cover-ups and probably false flags and fear and lockdowns and control. Most likely, possibly. Okay. They're going to lock this down, or they want the vote locked down, right? Because they need the consent. You know what I mean? Whoever you vote for, it's like giving consent. Okay. All right. Justin, Trump says, since peace talks with Iran are going very well, he's moved his destruction deadline by an additional 10 days to Easter Monday. Bruh. Nobody else seeing that? Nobody else seeing what? There's something there. There's something about that. There's something about this that doesn't sit right with me. Random videos start playing. All right. But God is good. Okay. The meme took over. I only see him now with long curly hair and that fat face. I know what you're talking about. Day after Easter. Those Iranians you're talking about, are they in the room with us? I don't know, man. Let's see what Kagan says about it. President Donald Trump announced he is extending his previous ultimatum to Iran regarding the Strait of Hormuz by another 10 days, setting the new deadline for April 6, 2026. I'm not saying something crazy is going to happen. I'm just saying I could totally see it being set up right now. In 10 days, something crazy is going to happen. Or, we didn't really bat an eye when they were telling us about the new normal when COVID was around. But look around. Is everything normal as it was before COVID? Right? Wrong? No one batted an eye. We all heard and we were like, ooh, you know what I mean? We're definitely in a new normal, right? Shrinkflation, inflation, hyperinflation. Okay. So that inflation didn't really, maybe, I don't know what bracket you have to be in to say the economy's doing great. I'm doing fine. I mean, the person I'm talking to, obviously it's like negative comments. There are some extremely pompous people, and either they're ultra MAGA no matter what, regardless of what the choice is. I mean, he could do whatever. And they'd be like, nope, still down. You know what I'm saying? But that is extremely related to the liberals who are the opposite. They're the same thing, but they hate him and everything he chooses to do. Okay. It's like the same thing. It's at least the same manipulation and the same level of thinking connected. You know what I mean? One was manipulated one way and one was manipulated the other way. You know what I mean?
All right, so this is hot off the press of the president's True Social. He just posted it at what looks like 4:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He said, quote, as per Iranian government request, please let this statement serve to represent that I am pausing the period of energy plant destruction by 10 days to Monday, April 6, 2026 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Talks are ongoing, and despite erroneous statements to the contrary by the fake news media and others, they are going very well. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald Trump. The original threat, like you all know, was a 48-hour deadline that basically said that if they didn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz, that the U.S. is going to start hitting and obliterating Iran's various power plants, starting with the biggest one. And then earlier this week, the president paused the deadline at least once, saying initially for about 5 days they were going to postpone it for some productive talks. And then this is the most recent post in reference to the energy infrastructure of Iran. Now, interestingly enough, this extension is coming right after the Israeli strike that was confirmed against the IRGC Navy commander, Admiral Alireza Tangsiri in Bandar Abbas, which was confirmed by U.S. CENTCOM when they posted this on their X account today. In addition to that, oil and gas prices have spiked, and there are shortages around the globe due to the fact that the Strait of Hormuz has been basically pinched off. Now, obviously, this remains fluid. It can change in 24 hours for all we know, as you guys have been seeing. But if I see anything further about this, I'll keep you updated. All right, so this is hot.
That's exactly right, Retime. Upside down world. Build back better. That's exactly right, Cinnamon One. There ain't nothing normal anymore. It's like living in a husked out shell of what was, kind of like what Kamala was talking about, unburdened by what has been, but we're still in the husked out shell. Right. Okay, well, right in the same vein of what we're all talking about, U.S. inflation is expected to rise to 4.2% due to the oil shock catalyzed by the Iran war, according to OECD. So, it's probably time to start growing food and getting chickens again. Let's see here. Trump $20.28 per gallon. No, look at that. That's funny. So much winning. I don't know, man. All right, this guy makes an interesting point here.
You start the Iran war, and then $1.5 billion moves 5 minutes before the announcement. But I'm going to tell you exactly the architecture as I see it, and I want you to tell me if this is a coincidence. So step one, you dismantle the DOJ public integrity section from 36 lawyers down to 2. Step two is you cancel 159 federal enforcement actions against 166 companies, 30 of which donated to Trump's campaign's inauguration. Step three, drop the DOJ investigation into Polymarket. Step 4, drop the CFTC investigation into Polymarket. Step 5, force out the SEC enforcement chief who wanted to pursue Trump-adjacent cases, and this was done just a few weeks ago. And then you start the Iran war, and then $1.5 billion moves 5 minutes before the announcement. $500 million, whatever, 500. I mean, they keep finding more and more trades, and they're starting to tie these to the administration, or at least how else could it be anything but the administration?
Interesting. Of course, not that it's a big deal, right? Nobody really bats an eye anymore. Over 1 trillion wiped from the U.S. stock market today. We're seeing this pretty often now. Worst day since the Iran war began. What? For real? Where does that trillion go? I know we could all use some of it. Mrs. Unspecified. It's like I wish I had some of it. All right. Just in, energy disruptions may last for years, and economic consequences will only gradually become apparent, says European Central Bank President Lagarde. Okay. It's just another data point. It's just, signs are pointing, they're all pointing. Tam Lama says, statistically, inflation is down, but corporations are just taking larger profit margins, so we're not seeing prices go down. Crony capitalism at its best. That's pretty astute, brother. Pretty astute. The U.S. is a net oil exporter, so we shouldn't be seeing prices go up at all. Energy sector agreed in action. We need laws. We need new laws. I would agree with that, man. Absolutely. It was ours until they stole and wasted it all. Oh, man. So true. I just feel like between war and weather, it's going to be a spicy summer. And don't forget, They only have a few connections to make, man. Okay. And you're going to see folks getting out in the streets. We've already seen it. Okay. That's crazy to me that you can mobilize people because of a fella in Minneapolis, and then because of a lady in Minneapolis, and because of another fella in Minneapolis, tens of thousands of people in the street. Okay. I mean, dude, look, I wish I had a way to communicate this. You guys know something's going down. You know something's going on. Okay. I feel like everyone's getting played right now. We really had it. We had it going on. We really did. Generation after generation, they saw nobody's really, as long as they've got this and that and they're comfortable, and, we can just keep taking this to the next level. Am I wrong? Good times. Good times. That's right, Curly. What's up? We would be better if Biden hadn't messed with SOR. Biden was dementia ridden when he was running for president. Yeah, I mean, I've got a really weird clip here that you guys probably wouldn't agree with, but it's funny watching robots walk and watching Biden walk. It's pretty similar. Yeah, we do have that clip. Might play it later. It might be in the Rumble section. I'm not sure. Ilhan Omar worth $30 million in 4 years of Congress. Yeah, guys, we know exactly what's going on. Huh? All right. So Minneapolis is the gate to the demon realm. I thought so. Something like that, right? Something's definitely going on in Minnesota there. For sure. I can't say exactly what it is, and I'm not trying to act like I have all the answers or I have it all figured out. I'm just the guy up here with a laptop, and I mean, what are we seeing here? I mean, we're seeing the dots. I'm seeing enough to see that we're getting played. And we're getting lied to. It must be real convenient from their position. Whatever you do, don't go watch. Don't look up right now. The similarities between, unfortunately, they know that they keep us in a happy-go-lucky, drugged, lollygaggy state. Hey, the good times keep on rolling, everybody. They like the way that the news speak, the way that I mean, whether we believe it or not, I mean, there's so many SSRIs, what are they talking about? The pollutant levels from there's straight up runoff. Anyway, I'm just trying to make a point. This girl, you need a microphone. Okay. Plenty of people have asked for Mrs. Unspecified to come back. One person is plenty enough. Okay. All right. All right. I have this little another data point. IED discovered at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida, headquarters to CENTCOM and the U.S. Military Special Ops. More FBI. Alan Zhang, who is currently in China, and his sister, Anne Mary Zhang, are responsible. Fox News reports the plot is tied to Trump's Iran war. Of course it is. Of course it is. And it makes absolute sense. I mean, here's your evidence. Sleeper cells, Chinese sleeper cells. There's your evidence. It is. All right. So, all right, we're moving into a little segment here. The next several videos are all going to be linked together, tied together to make somewhat of a point. Okay. Iran, the IRGC, has put out a couple of interesting videos. Okay. Now, the first one is really just military propaganda, war corn, right? With a P. We'll see. IRGC media makes acute threat to all American soldiers. You're about to face a true master of ground warfare. Welcome to Iran. Habibi. Any message to them? Hold up. RPK. Okay. I get he's got a fancy stock and a nice optic. It's a RPK with a freaking paint job. I'm not knocking it, okay, but you know, it's like they act like we don't have 338 Lapuas, okay, and Remington 700 308s, okay. It's like, hold on now, buddy. Don't try to act so hard. This is like archaic. The RPK, man. All right, not a. I'm a former AK guy. I'm not really into AKs, okay. I mean, it does look like they've learned some stuff. They're carrying SIGs. What is that, a Russian helicopter? Well, what was that, a high point? I mean, what is that? That's a goofy... That's different. This is a SIG. Okay. Boom. SIG. Did he? Oh. That. What is that? That's... Must be Russian. I don't know what that is. It almost looks like that guy's foot didn't make it. Okay. They're acting like they're hardcore, and his foot's like, oh. Okay. And watch the bore axis on this side alignment here. Watch this. Watch not this guy, but the guy coming up. Yeah, that's going to be accurate right there. Now he's definitely hardcore. This is hardcore, man. I mean, it's definitely flexing, right? Oh, big explosion. Navy SEALs. Look at this. We got some Persian Navy SEALs. Hardcore. They got some new four-wheelers. They got some shots of them on the four-wheelers. Okay, I'm not going to lie. Okay, real quick. I know I'm probably losing, folks. All right, look here. New four-wheelers, old helicopters. Okay, that's a cool shot, though. All right, that was a good shot. All right, they probably worked all day for that shot. That's a good one. There's a thumbnail right there. That's cool. Okay, I'll keep my M&P. Yes, exactly. It just looks like the intro to like Battlefield 6 or something, but cheaper, or, you know, not as cool. Hey, I mean, oh, you know what else this made me think of? This is like this next part with him kissing the flag, okay? And this next part, it's almost like Super Bowl, like, you know, it's like a team versus another team. Like I don't know, it's like people are going to start placing bets or something. This, you know, doesn't it remind you of those shows where, what are they, like Gladiators or whatever, and they go through all these physical challenges? And did you watch any of those? It's like where this dude, like these three dudes are from Italy, these three dudes are from America, these three dudes are from Germany, and they like, I don't remember what the show was, but that's what this reminds me of. Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. Another video that they put out. And forgive me for my terrible noises, guys. I'm trying. I'm trying. All right. It does look Hollywood. Iranian gladiators. Yes. Charlie's Angels. Habibi's Angels. I don't know. Habibi. All right, so they put this, I guess, recruitment video, like Golf and Guns was saying. Tamalama, get out of here. You're a CZ and a Walther guy. Okay, I can't knock it. I'm not gonna knock. I mean, that would be me knocking German engineering, but yeah, right. The kayaks, carrying kayaks with the explosions. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay. All right. Well, so Iran posts that video. They also released this very cryptic AI video. You might see people talking about it. Yeah, it's not cryptic. It's pretty straightforward. My bad. One vengeance for all. Iran bombs the Statue of Liberty with the head of Baal. Okay. So, I mean, if you know, you know. Let's watch. Hold on, let me remove my face because you're not seeing the full thing. Boom. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but okay. So this one says Epstein's Island. I mean, doesn't that make you sick to your stomach? General Soleimani. I'm the Ayatollah. And then there's, it's AI. Okay. It kind of looks like an ICBM. It's up to you. So that's the Statue of Liberty. Okay. And I'm gonna do a little. It looks like, is it already bleeding, perhaps? Or is there blood coming out of the flame up here? Okay. So I'm sure these three things have meaning. One vengeance for all. So straight up, they think, or possibly are, I don't know. We see them burning the statues of Baal, right? With the faces of Trump and, right. Matt Rogers says, they have a point. I mean, I'm going to be careful with what I say. We're still on YouTube, right? So give me a second. Give me just a second. Mrs. Unspecified says the writing looks deceptively fun. It looks like very fun writing, but it's very serious things. It's not fun. All right. So, it's just but a flesh wound. Let's see here. Guns says Soleimani went night night. He says, I mean, the statue did come from the fringe. It is clearly supposed to represent Baal. But if you start to think about the sentiment of Russia, how basically they think they're fighting Satanists. They think they're fighting a satanic occult. Has anyone tried to talk to Putin? Yeah. And then, we have the sentiment of it seems like perhaps they think they're fighting Baal. Okay. But if this kind of stuff doesn't add up, they're posturing, you know what I mean? I guess because Trump has markets to think about, and then, we're buying $14 billion of oil from them. I don't know if you guys heard about that. While we're at war with them, we're giving them $14 billion and we're at war with them. Yeah, it's weird, bro. Something's up, man. Something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't sit right. All right. So let's see. We've got a couple of clips of what some people think about it. Dear Putin, dear Mr. Putin, we are nice, not Satanists. Hope this letter finds you well. That's a good one. All right. Dear Vlad, why did you burn down my side chick's house? Where are you getting down with her to? Lord help me. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what Itty Bitty has to say about this video or this, whatever this propaganda piece is.
Listen up. Iran just put out a new video you might want to see. So it's a video about almost every place that we've affected. They even included Epstein Island. And then we see the thing headed to the Statue of Liberty, which is Bell. I just want to remind you that this same thing is shown in IPEC GOAT 2. We've got the Strait of Hormuz, and then this figure right here, the oil dries up, and then the next scene is the Statue of Liberty crumbling. Now, do we know if this is actually going to happen? We don't, but there has been plenty of people with dreams of this same thing happening in some kind of way.
Something is up, guys. I can't put my finger on it, man. This person's, I don't know if I should even read this, but it's kind of true. This person says, I don't want to share my true feelings about this here, as I've come to realize that everything we post share is being monitored by our enemies. I'm not referring to a particular country, etc. I'm referring to humanity as a whole. This whole system we use to connect, share info, etc., was designed to be used against us. I agree that the statue in video doesn't represent what we thought. The battle between good and evil isn't hidden anymore. Deadlines are approaching. The world as we know it will change, will forever change. Pretty good. What? Hence my low social credit score. That's funny. Okay. Let's see. This dude says, because I think the war is about to be brought to the United States mainland, I don't think people are even remotely prepared for what is coming. Also, nothing in the video is false. We sacrifice thousands of... yeah, we can... They weren't wrong. All right, I don't know. How many Iranians are in the Epstein files? Oof. Okay. All right.
Listen
Get out of that. All right. I've got one more person here. All right. Y'all probably aren't going to love, but this says the sum of all fears.
We might be fucked because the video that Iran put out today is scary on all different levels. So Iran just released a video today of a missile traveling through different countries to get to New York City. And when it gets to New York City, it hits the Statue of Liberty. But the Statue of Liberty isn't the Statue of Liberty. And I think you know exactly what this is right here. Now, even though this video is AI, This video is sending a direct message. And that message basically says that they have plans for the United States of America. Mind you, wasn't President Trump just saying that this war was close to being over? Well, after this video, I don't think this war is close to being over. This video is terrifying. Look at this shit. Tell me everything that you notice in this video. Native American lands. Japan. Tell me everything you notice in this video. This shit is crazy, man. Mind you, this is an AI video. But look at everything in this video. Epstein Island? Nah. I don't think this is over, man. And then look at this shit here. But watch after it hits that statue. Look what it says. One vengeance for all.
Do not stop talking about the Epstein files. Do not stop talking about the, yeah. Oh, let's be realistic. There is no missile in the world that could travel that distance, okay? So I don't know what you're trying to feed the people. I don't know if this is a conspiracy theorist, but that ain't gonna fly. All right, bud. Check this out, though.
We might be...
All right. Let me look for... I'm going to try and find that image. All right. People get hung up on the... people get hung up on the whole, well, they can't reach us. You know what I mean? But you see, this freight boat right here, this tanker, whatever this shipping vessel is, with missiles coming out of it. I'm not saying that's going to happen. This says 250, a birthday cake. And what country is having their 250th? We are. And if we draw a compass, north, south, east, and west, what side of the cake is the rocket going to hit? That would be the west side. And then, even weirder, we have this satellite beaming at this ship. I mean, there's a lot to look at here. Oh, look, little robot holding a package. What else have we seen a video of recently? A little robot flipping packages. You know, I just thought I'd drop this off right here. You know, let you mull on it and think about it and look it up. We've got a little graph in here of what looks like, you know, something going down right here. This wouldn't be Persian, would it? I don't know. Video game controller connected to the brain. And it's wrapped around the swords. I don't know, guys. There's a lot to look at here. I'm not going to act like I'm some authority on, you know, esoteric communication or whatever. But this is broad daylight. The birthday cake and the little freight liner. And we also know it's very possible we're in the season of the FF, the false, as you would say, flag. Okay. I know that's a little woo-woo, all right? But that's the times we're living in, all right? And I'm putting this out real quick. This next clip here, none of this is meant to scare you guys, rather prepare you guys, all right? And if you are dealing with any anxiety over all this, I have to point you to my Lord and Savior, okay? Jesus Christ. Cast all of your cares onto him because he cares for you. Before you go, black pill, doomer, listen. Are you not worth more than many sparrows? You should look that verse up. Just look that up. Okay. Okay. Like, just like Genesis was saying, we were born for such a time as this. That's kind of funny. Ajax was like, he was like, I didn't want to be, I never wanted to live in interesting times, yet here I am. And I agree. You were born for such a time as this. Dude, my man, we got a $5 super chat. Brofist, my friend, Dragon Slayer. He says, seems a good time to remind everyone that there has been zero accountability for the Epstein crap. Start calling your elected officials, demand it. Well, just buckle up, guys, because when we switch over to the next section here, it is going to get absolutely crazy. Seriously, it might be worth the wait. I'm just trying to put this info on your radar, okay? This is a community watching history unfold together and viewing and reviewing through a biblical lens, all right? Now, we get into the nitty-gritty over on Rumble, okay? So I highly suggest you follow us over on Rumble. The YouTube Live will end, okay? But it's worth the wait, I'm telling you guys. Thank you so much, Dragon Slayer Brofist. Thank you so much for that support, brother. Keeping the lights on. This episode brought to you partially by Dragon Slayer. Thank you, brother. I'm not protesting, just want to cause our governor is worse than our federal government. Sadly true, Dragon Slayer. People have stepped down from positions but not prosecuted. So they've been given time. All right. Let's just see what this says. World War III warning. An expert outlines the ultimate nightmare scenario of the Iran war. The global economy crashes. The world abandons the U.S. dollar, and China walks into Taiwan without firing a shot. The American empire is literally committing suicide. Let's see.
What do you mean?
Well, I think you could legitimately have a World War III type of scenario. It's if we are once again tying our military down in the Middle East to deal with a regional nuisance, which is what the Iranians are, which is what the Iraqis were. However, this time it's costing the global economy and all kinds of other nations. Their economic prowess. It's costing our reputation. We could align the rest of the world against us in, I'm not going to say short order, but not over a long enough arc, or not over a very long arc. It could cause other countries to consider using a different currency, which would be the kind of the kill shot for the American empire and the American experiment. And I'm not convinced that the Chinese want to take Taiwan by force, but if there's nobody home, what's to say they don't walk across the strait in an administrative manner and just say, okay, now you guys are part of us. And then what? But we wouldn't have the ability to do anything about that. Beyond that, you have our reduced footprints in places like Japan and South Korea.
That's right.
And those are very important economies to keep aligned with the United States. Like militarily, okay, that's one thing. But economically, we need them. And
Japan is the biggest buyer of our debt.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah. Number one.
Mm-hmm. So, in essence, the wheels fall off.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying we need to keep our minds open in order to prepare for all possibilities. That's it. Okay. It's not about hating anything or, it's just like, hey, I definitely want access to as many data points as possible. As I try to zoom out and process and consume. Am I making sense? She's not listening to me. Tickle, tickle. Okay. All right. None of this would be happening if Bad Bunny hadn't been the Super Bowl halftime act. I agree. Okay. He's up there. Hey, hey. It's a bunch of satanic spells or something. Okay, and now look at us. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right. I've got a little clip here from Ron Paul. Ignoring constitutional war powers is haunting us. One man starting a war over choice is producing disaster. Meanwhile, the representatives of the American people who do not support the war are nowhere to be found.
Is such that if they're going to put troops on Karg Island, they will have to sail steam naval vessels through the Straits of Hormuz, which I would not recommend because Iran, even though they've been out of missiles for 3 weeks, Dr. Paul, as our president has told us, they seem to have plenty of missiles left, and those boats will be sank. Or they're going to go through Kuwait. No, they can't, because all the bases in Kuwait are blown up. And if troops amass anywhere in that area in preparation for a landing on the island, they'll be decimated, because Iran has shown its ability, even without missiles, their ability to strike Kuwait at will as they wish. Say, for example, somehow there's a genius in the Pentagon who figures out a plan to take the island. The Marines storm in and they take that daggone island. Then what? Then what do they do? What do they do with it?
Mission creep. It'll be mission creep. If you take the island, you won't be secure, so you'll have to take the shore. If you take the shore, you won't be secure, so you'll have to take the mountains. If you take the mountains, you won't be secure, so you'll have to take Tehran. All that's going to cost money and lives. I mean, that's like old school. I thought it was asymmetric these days. We don't fight wars like that anymore. What happened to no new wars? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
We can't get the answer for them because, like I say, even if you got a hold of their secret papers, they don't know what they're doing. So it changes every minute. But in the same article, there was a quote there I wanted to use, and this comes from a retired Admiral James Stavridis.
Yes.
I would be very worried about this. He's had some experience.
Yes.
Iranians are clever and ruthless. I bet they are. And they may, especially when they're targeted to be annihilated, maybe they better. They will do everything they can to inflict maximum casualties on U.S. forces, both on the ships and the sea, and especially once ground troops are anywhere in their sovereign territory. Now, you say, who do you cheer for? You can't, you can't cheer for us. Oh boy, we got to get going. Send more, blast them, kill them all.
Yeah.
Or if you take the position, what are we doing there? Go home, quit it. Why are you starting? Why did you start this war? And why are you continuing this war? So it's really a messy situation.
Which is, again, the argument against going to war by choice, and especially when you bypass Congress and you don't even give Congress a clue. There were a few members yesterday who came out of a briefing. I don't have a clip on it, but they said, they weren't specific, but they said, wow, if that's the plan, we've got trouble, which is pretty scary. But to show you how bad things are getting, Dr. Paul. Now, this, I forget her name, Jean-Pierre, whatever, the last White House spokesperson, she was terrible. I didn't think it could get worse. And I was actually happy when Carolyn Leavitt came, because she seemed like a nice young gal. She seemed honest. She seemed earnest. But this is what she said yesterday. Now, Iran has already been defeated, completely obliterated, said President Trump. And now it's time for us to go home. We were there. We've been there. We killed that. We're going home.
President Trump does not bluff, and he is prepared to unleash hell. Iran should not miscalculate again. Their last miscalculation cost them their senior leadership, their Navy, their Air Force, and their air defense system. Any violence beyond this point will be because the Iranian regime refused to understand they have already been defeated and refused to come to a deal.
Any violence from now on is because they refuse to understand that they've been defeated. That's all we need a laugh today.
That's so sad.
Don't you know you're defeated? Stop firing back.
Well, change your tune, maybe someday.
It's
well, she has already changed her tune.
Funny, but not funny. It's kind of sad.
Right. It's actually not a boxing. It's not a boxing match. You know, it's like, it's not, the bell doesn't ring. It's not over because you said it's over. This is a real scrap. You know what I mean? And they straight up know and could have known. You remember that 2007 video where they talk about taking 5 Nation in 7 years or something like that? So if they had intelligence about that all this time, I'm not going to go scramble to look up that video, but hopefully you guys know about the video I'm talking about. Yeah, you get it. All right. What's Israel say? Netanyahu, the Bible says there is a time for peace and a time for war. And my brain is like, bruh, how dare this fella talk about the Bible?
The Bible says that there is a time for peace and a time for war. This is a time for war. The Bible says.
It's a short and sweet clip. Okay, I guess that says it all. All right, Mike Huckabee said that the young people aren't pro-Israel because the right data hasn't been uploaded to their brain, or they're not on the same programming that you did to the other generations.
But where does that come from? You know, there's a difference between dumb and ignorant. Dumb is that a person cannot process information. They just don't have the capacity. They don't have an operating system, if I put it in computer language. Ignorance is that the data isn't there. What we're dealing with is not an operating system problem. It's a data problem. We have not downloaded the proper data.
I think the actual thing is we got a hold of the correct data, which flies in the face of what this guy wants or says, or the interests, right? You know, he's making hand over fist. He's laughing all the way to the bank.
The true data into the minds of younger people. And we've assumed that they're going to grow up intellectually curious and intellectually honest, and that they will look for themselves, but they're not. That's the problem.
You're not being intellectually honest. You're bought and sold. Okay. He's got, there's a hand so far up that it's working his mouth. That's the truth. And with enough greenbacks, okay, you can get your hand that far up in there, apparently.
They're not looking. They're taking at face value what some podcaster says. And the result is absolutely dangerous.
Because the podcasters are more honest than you guys are, Miss Unspecified says. All right, I'm just going to drop this here. We've got the whole situation between the Pentagon and Anthropic AI. And now, breaking, OpenAI will pause development of its erotic adult mode chatbot following concerns from investors. What could be the concerns? OpenAI roadmap, superintelligence, AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, erotic chatbot. Oh, wait, never mind. The investor said no to the only feature that will product market fit. I don't know what. Sora has already become a joke, and don't try anything weird. Should you be able to have you-know-what with a chat GPT? I'm doing this because I love it. AI can replace jobs, write code, run workflows, but adult mode is where investors draw the line. All right, guys. We are moving forward. All right, we're moving forward. This is we're moving into the second part of the show here. Be sure to smash like and subscribe if you haven't already. Grab the URL up top there and share it out. Drop it in a Discord. Share it with your best friend. Okay, it would be a blessing, and we thank you so much in advance. We've got some crazy stuff to show you yet, so we're going to go ahead and dive into it. And a warning that the YouTube show will end, and we're going to continue over on Rumble. Find the link in the description over here on YouTube. If you're over on X, be sure to maybe, if you appreciate the content, repost. Maybe smack repost. Head over to the X page and follow at Still Unspecific. Like I said, man, you guys remember that movie Cocaine Bear? I couldn't get through the first 30 seconds of it, or the first 5 minutes. I couldn't get through it. Okay, it's just I thought, but no. Okay, was it predictive programming? Okay, this is not a joke. Cocaine-fueled sharks are on the prowl in the Caribbean. Scientists blame partying tourists. Definitely not the spring breakers. Don't worry about them. Okay, it's partying tourists. Me and Mrs. Unspecified were actually writing a movie about a shark. Would you believe that? It's pretty good. I might do a reading one night. You need to hear it. Was it a shark? No, it wasn't a shark. I'm embarrassed now. Oh, even worse. Let's not talk about that. Okay. Never saw Cocaine Bear. I couldn't get through it, man. This sucked. Yeah, Gunn says I watched it. It was terrible. You've heard of Cocaine Bear. Now get ready for Cocaine Shark. Jarvis, release the cocaine sharks. I gotta save that, man. That's a good one. Oh, man. I'm feeling intense. Cocaine sharks, man. Write that down. Write that down. Oh, no, guys. AI, man. What are we going to do? Okay. Look at that. Do you see this picture? I'm saving that. That's historic. The level of the memes. These drugs could be detected in streams miles downstream from wastewater treatment plants, but many plants do not routinely remove pharmaceuticals from water. Oh, we were just talking about that earlier. Horse hockey. All right. We'll get out of this. All right. Be on the lookout if you're going to be in the Caribbean, guys. All right. It's a beautiful place, gorgeous water. Dangerous sharks. Okay. more dangerous than normal shark. Cokenado. Now you have to write a shark movie. You committed. We'll get AI to make it. No. What did Aon say? Some guy in Alabama or something that gave squirrels meth and trained them to attack people. Yeah, man. It would not be cool if squirrels were attacking. They're just small enough to be frantic, like, get this thing off of me. All right, buckle up, guys. All right, I'm grabbing you, and I'm hurling you back into it here. We're taking a break from the beautiful waters of the cocaine-fueled sharks. This is kind of serious. This active duty Army soldier is advocating that we abandon American First movement and to conduct a ground-up revolution against both political parties. Now, I don't even know if YouTube was the place to talk about this, but honestly, I wasn't sure if everybody was going to come hop over on Rumble. It's just in here where it is, and that's where I wanted it, and I wanted to bring it to your attention. Let's listen to what this guy has to say. Exactly. His name is I Am. What's up? Very good to see you. All right.
I have a message for the American people. Last December, I encouraged you to give this new administration a chance. Time is up. Our government is compromised. Tyrants get promoted and patriots get punished. I am very concerned that we are on the brink of losing our constitutional republic to tyranny. We came extremely close during COVID, and it seems to me like everyone has already forgotten that it even happened. There has been no rectification and absolutely no accountability. The only way that I see we the people taking back our country is a ground-up revolution. We must abandon the America First movement as well as both political parties. I am calling for the God First, Liberty Second movement to be born in the United States of America. This will take at least 8 to 12 years to accomplish. We must first take municipal seats, then county seats, then state seats, and then we will take back our federal government. If the spirit of patriotism burns within you, you are called to the work. For many are called, but few are chosen. We need those who otherwise never would have gotten involved in politics to step up and serve. What would your qualifications be? I can't say, but I can share what the Lord personally impressed upon me to qualify for me to participate in his work, and maybe it will guide you in seeking your calling. Number 1, you must keep yourself above reproach. If you have any vices, you must abandon them. Pornography, any sexual sin, any addiction, unrighteous anger, and pride were a few that were impressed upon me. The enemy of all freedom will use anything you do against you, so only do good. 2, you must prioritize your health and fitness. If you do not have a strong tabernacle to house your spirit, your emotions, and your mental health, you will struggle to overcome the attacks that surely will come. Number 3, you must trust in God with all your heart. There will be hard times ahead in this movement. If you do not have faith, you will not endure. Number 4, you must be willing to sacrifice everything. Your life may even be taken. Personally, I'm all in. I am currently running for mayor in the city of Eagle Mountain, Utah, where I reside. My primary election is taking place soon. If I fail to prevail, in 2 years I will run for city council, and then in 4 more years, I will run for mayor again. I am calling on patriots and freedom fighters everywhere to join this movement. You are called. It's up to you what you do to be chosen. I intend to preserve for my children what my parents' generation has failed to preserve for me. In the future for which I am fighting, my children will be able to afford a home. My children will be permitted to raise their children without the fear of the government indoctrinating them.
It's a serious shot across the bow, being in uniform. Hold on.
At least
got his name out there, got his rank out there. He's made some points. The first thing that comes to my mind is I would be very weary of any groups, right? If you know anything about our government, wouldn't put it past them necessarily to kick this thing off and get it going. Unfortunately, trusting any group, right? You see what happened with the Proud Boys. You see it, like, I don't know how to explain it. Basically, groups, unfortunately, at this stage in where we are in time, maybe back in the day, generations ago, you could affect change, but at this point, not that you can't affect change with God, right? But that's who I would focus on. That's my group, you know, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, that's my group. That's who I trust. I can't trust nobody else, personally. These days, too many situations, man. I mean, the one Vice documentary you can watch about a modern militia, the dude who was the leader literally wore a hat, like a gas station hat that said FBI. Now, whether it's a gas station hat or not, it could be him subtly saying, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, he's I mean, the leader of it was FBI. I'm just saying, man. 100%, man. It's like an active list. You know what I'm saying? Entrapment. Yeah, percenters. You know exactly what I'm. Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let me see here. But unfortunately, let's say, even if it's not infiltrated, it is coming from someone who is currently employed by the government. I mean, there's that note, okay, that data point, but also, it could be very possible, especially at this point in the game, that it's just going to be a meat grinder. That's what Proud Boys literally was. You know what I mean? They want, there are so many broken homes, so many fatherless men, that they want to belong to something. And there are people specifically out to take advantage of that, like a meat grinder. Sons of Anarchy was heavy in it. People want to be a part of a club. They want to be on the in group, especially if it's kinetic or we actually get together and go practice and camp and all this, even if it's not malicious. But maybe it's all good. I would be very wary, very cautious. I'm going to try to follow the story to the best of my ability. Let's see, what else do we have here? Very interesting little clip. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable. John F. Kennedy said that. And that looks pretty accurate. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. So there we go. Another data point down. We'll keep her moving here. Proud Boys got screwed. Man, these days, I'm not too sure. Like, we've got to get to that. I can't say too much here, I guess. It's not wise necessarily to join such a public-facing group. Got to do brothers and sisters. Thanks for the chat. Much love. They do. They want violent revolution. You're right. Says, not me, man. I want to chill, sipping on iced tea while watching my chickens and ducks waddle around the yard. That's right. And defend it with my life. But trust God, that I wouldn't have to. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. So, I don't know, Dragon Slayer, he's going to weigh in on this because this is closer. Let's see, he would know more about it. Nuclear bomb sirens going off in California. I do think that there's a correlation here, but we'll just let the video play and see what you guys think.
Pay attention and listen, because there are nuclear bomb sirens going off in Laguna Beach, California. Look.
I think SoCal might be in some danger. I'm at my house in Laguna Beach right now, and there's full-on emergency, bomb warnings going off.
Brisket 1, what's up, brother? Guess who's back? Back again. Brisket's back. Glad in, man. What's up, guys? I mean, the voice on the siren says it's an emergency siren, not specifically tsunami, but, I'm sure the system was built for tsunamis. Our emergency alert systems are, for tornadoes, at least. But I think there's a correlation. Let's just listen to the guy.
Bro, I feel like we're in a futuristic movie, because you can't see speakers anywhere, and the whole city has this whole alarm system going off. All right, this is, I think, all of our signs that we might be in a worse place than we think right now, just in terms of war and everything.
The city of Laguna Beach emergency siren warning system. And if this had been an actual emergency, you would receive additional instructions to evacuate more specific information about the emergency.
Now, it isn't a coincidence that those nuclear bomb sirens are going off right now in Laguna Beach, California, because the FBI already warned the people and police in California that there was going to be possible attacks from Iran. Now, those attacks can be drone or even nuclear attacks, but I believe that that is going to be a false flag that the United States is going to use as an excuse to send troops to Iran. Now, if you want to stay up to date with everything that is going on in the world, make sure to follow this account right now.
I think that it's a good point talking about the FBI warning about false flags, and we're seeing IEDs at Central Command in Florida. Sleeper cells at the very least, false flags. I think we're definitely going to see something big. I think something's coming, man. I think we're going to see a few big things coming up. Another scheduled testing on April 2nd. Dragon Slayer says, so the biggest question is what time they were testing them. Traditionally, they test the emergency alert sirens at noon on the first Friday of the month, but not everyone pays attention to them. traditionally, they are used as tsunami sirens and are located at the fire stations. I think there's some correlation, and I pray there isn't, right? I pray that there is no false flag. I pray nothing happens. As you would say, false flag. I've got this little update on Joe Kent. You know, they were trying to do the smear campaign, talking about, oh, he leaked information. You know, this is him on it.
What classified information did you leak? It's a good question. I didn't leak any. Most of these leak allegations are just a media narrative to take away from the conversation that you and I are having. The first leak accusation surfaced right as I was going live with Tucker. When did the investigation start? I don't think there is an investigation. The only proof of there being an investigation is someone in the government leaking to the media saying that Kent's under investigation for being a leaker. They had to leak that I'm a leaker. Another leak. Right, exactly. That's why, like, take it seriously. The FBI has ruined innocent people's lives, like General Flynn, with an accusation before. I'm confident I didn't leak any classified information, but at the same time, like, we kind of know what the game is here. If they really were going to investigate me, they would come to me and say, hey, you're being investigated, or we're going to ask you some questions, etc. I don't think they would tip their hand ahead of time by leaking it. That doesn't work out in their advantage at all.
If they knew you were leaking, why wouldn't they have fired you and then continued on with the investigation?
100%.
They were just going to wait for your resignation. Right. We know he's leaking classified information, but he's going to be gone. So.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
What classified?
That actually checks. What's wrong?
The last nationwide
Send it to me.
emergency alert was on October. I'll send it to you.
I'm looking. Oh, in chat?
The last major nationwide test was October 4th, 2023. October 7th was the attack.
Ooh.
Attack. It was
Oh, the pager attack.
2 days before the pager attack.
Huh. Okay, I'm waiting for the link.
Well, I put it in chat for you.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the last major nationwide test was October 4th, 2023, sent to phones, TV, and radio 3 days before the pager attack. We might need to start keeping our phones not in our pockets, guys. Okay. What would a 12-minute war look like? You know what I'm saying? How much of the government has previous experience in media? Oof. All right. This is remember yesterday we showed that really weird video that the White House put out. It was just a blank screen. It was really weird and cryptic. Not a lot of information. It means we are taking Carg Island. Well, what about it tells you that? So the White House posted at 10. Post has an image of a U.S. flag with a 10 highlighted in red. I don't see it. If you remember this video, okay. But of course, the Q people are the ones talking about. They know what's going on with it. Oh yeah, and there was this video as well. Did you guys hear about this?
It's launching soon, right? Cool. It's launching soon, right? Cool. It's launching soon, right?
Launching soon, right? That's really weird that the White House accidentally put that out. I think it's a part of them having to tell us what's up before it happens. Here we go.
So on the 25th of March of 2026, the White House posted this video. And we were all left with wondering what the hell it meant. Well, I did a little digging and I found a community note on the post that said, quote, "The White House has initiated a new text alert system aimed at increasing public engagement and streamlining communication, allowing users to receive updates by texting USA to 45470. This system provides updates on the president's agenda, legislative initiatives, and community-specific information. Their Instagram bio text reads, 'The golden age of America begins right now. Text USA to 45470 to receive alerts.'" So bottom line is, this post was supposed to allude to a new text-based alert system. That's literally all it was. We were all like, what does this even mean? So that's that. Also, I saw this post, which is like a really pixelated version of what looks like President Trump sitting in the Oval Office at the Resolute desk. And I don't really know what that means or why they posted it, but I'm sure maybe a community note will pop up and we'll all gain a better understanding together.
I don't know, man. I think we're seeing the signs of, I mean, maybe it's innocent. I'm sure it is. But I also have to, intellectually, I'm being honest with myself, we can feel it coming. I don't know what it is. Could be multiple things. Hold on. Yahoo! All right. Oh, man. I feel it coming, baby. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. All right. This next clip here is by Russell Brand. The government wants you controlled. Let's see.
Believe in the power of democracy. One person, one vote. Use this technology that they're continually trying to implement to advance control, to advance technology and democracy. Technology and democracy are not opposed to one another. As this idea becomes more popular, which it will, people will put aside their old left v right biases and start saying, if we had decentralized control of our own community, that would solve the problem. What they'll say is it's not safe, that the machines will get hacked. Of course, when they're in control of surveillance technology and digital ID, there's no problem with them getting hacked. The fact that cash machines and ATMs all over the world aren't ever hacked. No one ever hacks an ATM, do they? And empties it of all of its money. Suddenly there will be new concerns about technology. The minute we start saying we're going to turn these devices against you, instead of giving you all our data so you can market to us and control us, we're going to use these devices to run our towns, our communities, our hospitals, our schools, our lives. That's all you need a government for. Logistics and operations. Minimize their power. You have already seen what happens when you let them behave as gods. They are not gods. They're no better or worse than you or I. Some of us think they're a bit worse with all the Epstein Island stuff and all that kind of thing, but hey, none of us are perfect.
I really love that Russell has turned around, man. Now he's all about Jesus. I'm really. I think it's a blessing. Thank y'all, Doobie, Brofist, dude. Glad to see you over there on Rumble, man. Hey, hun. Golf says, bro, get some hot tea. I want some hot tea. It would be soothing for my throat. Y'all pray for me. She's sick too. We need some hot tea. Stat. Okay, some lemon, some honey. All right. Buckle up, guys. This next one, I've been wanting to show you.
Listen up. So let's do an end times news update, shall we? And this is not to scare you, but to prepare you. So China is mapping the ocean floor as it prepares for submarine warfare with the U.S. The collected data provides insights into underwater terrain and environmental conditions crucial for stealthy submarine operations. So that's going on. There's a student named Sophie Ward. She was 20 years old and she died of oozing blood from her eyes after contracting meningitis B infection.
That was that Kent State situation where they were all lined up to go get vaccinated at the school. Not Kent State. It's in the UK. Kent University. Kent University? Is that it? It is, I think. Anyway.
No water, no life. Iraq's Tigris River in danger of disappearing. Severe shortages of oil and gas are beginning to happen all over the world. The Treasury just declared the U.S. insolvent. We're bankrupt.
Insolvent.
Of course, the media didn't tell us. Australia to plant less wheat as global fertilizer woes deepen. White House AI framework pushes age verification ID mandate. The White House has published a national AI legislative framework, a set of recommendations to Congress intended to govern artificial intelligence with a single, uniform standard rather than, as the document puts it, a patchwork of conflicting state laws. Alongside a genuine free speech provision, the document contains age verification mandates, chat surveillance requirements, national security carve-outs that would tighten the relationship between AI companies and federal intelligence agencies. There's a 7.5 earthquake in the Tonga. A gigantic heat dome baking the whole U.S. may be historic. After smashing March heat records in 14 states in the U.S. as a whole, the gigantic heat dome that's baked the Southwest is creeping eastward and may end up being one of the most expansive heat waves in American history. Yay! The United States is deploying 3,000 paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne Division to the Middle East. Trump to name Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, and Jensen Huang to his tech panel. So much for draining the swamp. Also, Laura Loomer gives chilling prediction that another terror attack 10 times worse than 9/11 is coming. Also, the United States just bought $14 billion in oil from Iran while we're in the middle of war with Iran. So crows are swarming Tel Aviv skyline, barking harbinger of doom amid the conflict with Iran. And let's not forget the Army just raised the enlistment age to 42, easing marijuana restrictions. This comes after soldiers were testing positive for marijuana because they didn't want to go overseas. Now, with all the bad news aside, I want to tell you something positive. The King is coming. And he's coming soon. If you do not have a relationship with Jesus Christ, you need to get one today. The Bible says that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe that he died, was buried, and rose again for the remission of your sins, you will be saved. Don't wait until it's too late.
All right. Amen. That's true. Jesus is Lord. All right, guys. Andrew Tate. Haven't heard from him in a while. I'm not saying everything he says is right, but I'm saying something he says here rings true.
We're not voting our way out of this. No such thing as politicians anyway. No such thing as left and right, Republican, Democrat. There's no such thing. There's no point in even discussing the upcoming election. None of it even matters. Do you know what really matters? You know what's true? Transnational capital. There are big pools of money, and those big pools of money like to make more money. And they make more money by rigging the markets and controlling the politics and convincing everybody via the media that what they're doing is somehow a good idea. It's all a big brainwashing operation. It's all a big psyop, you know? They're the kind of people who put a short on oil before Trump announces that the war's over. And then when Trump says, oh, the war's not over, they have a long on oil. And they just print billions. They just print Bs. They hollow out the middle class. Billions and billions and billions of dollars. They just hollow out the middle class endlessly, and they move it abroad. It's transnational capital. They own banks in Myanmar and Switzerland and Qatar and America. It's BlackRock. It's Vanguard. It's beyond politics.
You're right, Craig. You're right. I agree.
Who the fuck is going to let some dude that we choose, who in their right mind, when they control all the world's money, is going to let us choose some guy to tell them what to do? The midterms, there are no midterms. There's big pools of money, and the big pools of money like to make more money. And you know what you do once you've made loads of money? Once you have all the money in the world and you have all the power in the world, you want to feel your power. You want to flex your power. What's the point of having power if you don't flex it? It's like having a Ferrari that you don't drive fast, you know? When you have it, you want to use it. They used it during COVID, making you wear a mask when they didn't have to. They made you wear a mask when you sat down at the restaurant, take it off to eat, put it on to go piss, sit back down, take it back off. They made you inject yourself with poison. That's their power. That's why they like fucking kids, because you're
okay. Yeah. So he starts talking about that. I don't know, man. He might have a point. All right. I don't agree with that guy on everything, obviously. He's not necessarily a great role model, though he'd like to try to be, but he might have a point there. All right. All right. Agenda 21 explained in 2 minutes. All right.
Agenda 21 is kind of a code name for a master plan originated at the United Nations to change the political and economic system of the world to one of total collectivism. And in order to do that, people must not be allowed to have independence. They must be dependent on the state for everything. Otherwise, they won't be easily controlled by the state. That means they can't have private property, mostly. They cannot have land of their own.
You, honey.
They have to live in preferably high-rise apartments that are provided to them by the state as a benefit, so to speak. Oh, good, we got a free apartment. But these people at the top want all humans to be dependent on the largesse of the state. That means that they don't want anybody living out in the boonies. Anybody that's got a couple of acres of land and his own water supply and can grow his own food and that kind of thing, or have some sheep or some chickens, these people are a threat to the collectivist society because they aren't going to go to the politicians and say, please feed me, please clothe me, please give me shelter. They tend to be independent. That's the secret behind Agenda 21. They want people out of the country. They want corporations out there growing all the food and that kind of thing, but they don't want anybody living out there because that way they cannot be controlled. In order to control mankind, we have to get them all into the big cities. We have to rack them up and stack them up, get them dependent on the state for their food, their shelter, their electrical power, their water, everything. That's the dirty secret behind Agenda 21.
All right. Speaking on that note, we could talk of these energy crisis lockdowns, right? Where they're not necessarily going to have to tell us to not leave. It's just going to become so expensive. We're seeing stuff like this. Corpus Christi, Texas, running out of water as surging demand for oil refining, LNG exports, and petrochemical plants strains supply during ongoing drought, which could force restrictions as early as May. So they're warning about restrictions, okay?
Lake Corpus Christi, which is a key water source for the city, it's currently just at over 9% capacity. CNN Chief Climate Correspondent Bill Weir joins us now. And Bill, the city could be forced to issue emergency water use restrictions. So why is this happening?
This could happen as early as May, Boris. Yeah, it's scary times down there. It's still coming out of the taps, but this is a slow motion disaster playing off along that Petro coast on the Gulf of Mexico. You talked about that one reservoir being less than about 9% of capacity. We have another one, Choke Canyon Reservoir, which they use, is less than 8% capacity. Lake Texana, which the folks of Corpus Christi also drink out of, is around 50% full. The law is if it goes below 50, that triggers automatic cuts, but the governor has lowered that to 40% now. But we're talking about a really dry stretch here, about 5 years of drought in South Texas that has led to this, along with a lot of water-intensive industry that just demands tens of millions gallons of water a day to make plastic or refine oil.
420 me mom, what's up? Welcome in. I'm just taking a little sip of some honey apple cider tea. Y'all pray for me. I'm feeling really good right now, so your prayers are working. Okay, thank y'all. So more warnings. Okay, I think they're absolutely going to try it if they get the opportunity.
Lake Corpus Christi.
Of course, I think the name is symbolic. Corpus Christi, We'll just have to see. And pray. We'll switch gears. It's sort of the same vein, a little bit different. New report shows nearly 100% of produce tested was positive for pesticides, including forever chemicals. This is so harmful.
Well, this year's Dirty Dozen report is out, and it finds that produce like spinach, grapes, strawberries carry high levels of potentially harmful pesticides. The Environmental Working Group releases this report every year. Nectarines, peaches, cherries, apples, blackberries, pears, potatoes, and blueberries also made that list. Spinach took the top spot. The report says it holds more pesticide residue by weight than any other type of product. Well, this year's dirt.
No bueno. No bueno. We've normalized some really insane crap. I know that's true. Our health is being put on the back burner. Then we spend money on health insurance plans for their profit. Lord help us.
Really, insurance companies are running calling the shots.
So the insurance companies are calling the shots?
I mean, like, they won't drive through the Strait of Hormuz.
Wow, that's a good point. They won't drive through the Strait of Hormuz because insurance won't let them. Wow. All right, guys, don't get too down. Don't get too depressed. All right, we're going to pick it back up with some positive word here. All right, some truth. Jesus is the truth. Speaking of, do not be misled by philosophers. Let's listen to this guy. I like this guy, tacotalks.com, man. Truth versus reality.
You want to know the difference between truth and reality? Pronunciation. Well, I mean, technically, yes, but no. Like, do you want to know the actual difference? There is no difference, but go ahead. Reality is unchanging, but truth can be subjective. There's no such thing as my truth and your truth. There is only the truth. According to who? God. In John 14:6, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father but through me. So you're saying that you think that the Bible is truth. I'm saying that Jesus is the truth, and therefore there is no such thing as truth apart from Jesus. See, then that would be your truth. No, that would be the objective reality that we find in this world, which is the truth. The truth is based upon perspective. No, it's based upon evidence revealed. Have you ever seen that picture of the two men who are standing by a number drawn on the ground, and one person thinks it's a 6 and the other person thinks it's a 9, but they're viewing it from different perspectives? Yes, I love that. Well, in that, both of them are correct. No, both of them are looking at the same thing and seeing something different, which actually means that one of them is objectively wrong. Well, who's to say who is wrong? Well, the one who drew the number in the first place knows what it was supposed to be. They know it was either supposed to be a 6 or a 9. The person who was the author of the creation, the one who drew it, that one is able to tell you what it actually is, regardless of how other people are viewing it. So you're saying there's some kind of an author of the world who is actually able to tell us what is truth and what is not? Yes, that would be Jesus, being the creator of everything and everyone that has ever been created. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father but through him. Thereby, Jesus is the one who has the authority to actually tell us what reality is and what the truth actually is.
Amen. Amen. That was good. Dude, that was good.
You want to know the difference?
All right. All right. I've included this because I think it's I don't know how to I think it's going to be applicable. Possibly, right? Jacob's trouble.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. So what are we talking about this morning? We're talking about something, an event that is going to take place immediately after the pre-tribulation rapture of the church. And the Bible calls it the time of Jacob's trouble. Turn to Jeremiah chapter 30. Jeremiah chapter 30. Let's read verses 4 through 7. Jeremiah 30, verse 4. These are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman, and all faces are turned into paleness. The prophet Isaiah, he jumps in And this is what he says starting in verse 14 of Isaiah 28. Wherefore, hear the word of the Lord, ye scornful men that rule this people, which is in Jerusalem, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. And then you go to Matthew chapter 24 and look down in verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So what I want to talk to you today for just the next couple of minutes, just a quick little Thursday Bible study. I want to talk to you this morning about the mysterious silence regarding the Bible doctrine and the Bible prophecy of something that the prophets called the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay. And even the Apostle Paul talks about this. 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord, that's not the rapture of the church, that's not the day of Christ. This is the day of the Lord, so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, when do they say that? Under the first 3.5 years of the counterfeit Christ, known as Antichrist. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
I think now's the time to brush up. I think that would be an interesting series to get into. All right. We're doing
Genesis chapter 40.
Bible study on Revelation over on Rumble, Wednesdays and Sundays. We've been aiming at 6 p.m. Central Time, but you know what, we should be able to hold to that. Be sure to follow us over on Rumble, link in the description. I thought this was pretty cool. Definitely warning in these times, especially with the new age stuff.
This legit is maybe the most mind-blowing Bible fact I've.
Hey, Craig DeHunter, my brother. Much love. Much love. He says, Jesus is definitely the truth, and he loves his blessed mother as you love yours. Please remember his mother and ask for her intercession. Love you guys and gals. Good night. Amen. Amen. P.S. I had a blessed rosary from Medjugorje. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. For you, if you want it. It's wood and gorgeous. Blessed last week at the church in Bosnia. Whoa. Love you, bro. Love you too, bro. We got to get together, Craig. We've got to get together. We've got to get together. We got to hang out. Maybe we'll grill something, man. Maybe we'll go fishing. I know Brisket One was talking about that. Okay. All right. All right, brother. Well, let me know. Let me know. All right, let's check this out.
Ever learned in my entire life. I've been waiting 6 years to get this out because it never fits in a sermon. Jesus ascended into heaven when he was standing on, in Acts chapter 1, the Mount of Olives. And he specifically said in Acts chapter 1, he said, I'm going to come in the exact same way that I go. And there are other prophecies, I'm going to read them here in a second, that specifically make it sound like it's clear when Jesus returns and he descends, he's going to descend and stand right on top of the Mount of Olives again. Let's go a layer deeper. So if you're ever there on the Mount of Olives is east of the Temple Mount. So in Ezekiel 43, it's one of the passages that Jewish people for millennia have been like, that's a Messianic prophecy. Listen really close, bro. This is insane. Then the man brought me back to the outer gate of the sanctuary, the one facing the east, and it was shut. It is to remain shut because the Lord, the God of Israel, has entered through it. And when it says has entered through it, this is prophetic foreshortening, talking about a future event as if it were in the past. This right here is the East Gate as seen from when you're standing on the Mount of Olives. That's literally what you're looking at right there, East Gate right there. Now, you look at it, you're like, where's the gate, bro? Because it's all bricked up. The guy's name was Sultan Suleiman. He conquered Jerusalem in 1517. The Islamic guy had fear of the future Messiah coming and this specific prophecy. And he's the dude that bricked up the East Gate because he was going, I'm going to make sure that prophecy can never get fulfilled. Okay, now check this out. Zechariah 14:3-5. His feet shall stand upon the Mount of Olives, which faces Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall be split in two, from east to west, making a large valley. Half of the mountain shall move to the north, and half of it to the south. In 1964, look this up. There's a million news stories about this. These Jewish dudes want to build a hotel on the top of the Mount of Olives. They've got to get a geological survey done before they build on the top of the historic mountain. When they do the geological survey, they discover that there is a fault line that runs right underneath the Mount of Olives. It is an east to west fault line that runs right from the top of the Mount of Olives right to the east gate. When Jesus returns, he'll descend on that mountain. And I think what's going to happen is the Bible talks about the earth and the heavens being shaken. I think that in fulfillment of this prophecy, that whole valley will just do this. All those stones that dude put in front of that thing are going to fall right down. And he's going to walk right through that thing, stand on that Temple Mount and be like, where are you at now? It's legit.
That was good. That's not the clip that I was referring to in the beginning. Okay. The next clip here. Yes, sir. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Okay. Oh, Lord, help me. About to sneeze. Trying to. Oh, Lord. Okay. This clip is the one I was warning about. All right. Oh, excuse me. All right. Okay. This guy right here.
If you think heaven is a place you go after you die, you've already missed the whole point of being alive.
All right, pause. If you think heaven is the place you go when you die, you've already missed the whole point. Okay. Well, then Jesus missed the whole point because Jesus said things like, today you will be with me in paradise to a dude. Like when you die, that's where you're going.
Sounds like a place.
Sounds like a place. Here's the point, dude. What you got to watch is people will just say stuff and they'll be really confident and they say it in a soothing, masculine voice. And you're like, oh man, it sounds very wise. But claiming to be wise, they became fools. Right. All right, here we go. Let's keep going.
He said it's within you right now, which means heaven isn't a destination. It's a decision. We create heaven or hell in real time by how we act, how we think, how we live, how we love. And one of the greatest traps of religion and one of the most subtle poisons of culture.
You can tell this guy is reciting an AI script. It's not this, it's that. I mean, it's so easy to hear people who just look something up or are talking to AI and they have AI write a script for them for a social media post. 100%. Okay. 100%.
Is the idea that heaven is somewhere out there in the sky, in the future, after we die. What if the second coming isn't an event, but a metaphor? It's you rising from the deadness of your own apathy.
Pause. That's literally the exact false teaching the Apostle Paul rebukes in 2 Timothy 2. Paul says, avoid godless chatter. That is godless chatter. So here's what he goes. Because those who indulge in it will become more ungodly. Their teaching will spread like gangrene. Case in point, that went mega viral. Among them, and he just calls out these two false teachers by name. Among them are Hymenaeus and Philetus, who have departed from the truth. Watch what how did they depart from the truth? Watch this. They say that the resurrection, aka second coming, has already taken place. In other words, it's already happened in the salvation that you experience. It's a metaphor, is what they were saying, and they destroy the faith of some. He's literally, this thing about mega viral, he's literally committing the exact heresy, the exact false teaching Paul's rebuking. Let's keep going.
You want to wait for heaven or do you want to build it? He gave you breath, he gave you the will, he gave you the divine spark to observe, assign meaning, and create. That's what God does, and he gave us the same power. So stop wasting your time waiting for some reward. Stop pining away your power for some cosmic carrot in the sky. Heaven is within you right now. So act like it, create it, live like it.
Okay, I just have one response to this.
Mr. Madison, what you just said
is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on you.
No, we're obviously joking.
Yes.
But for real, you should ignore everything that says.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Dr. Kent Hovind, I highly suggest you guys go find him, watch his debates, watch his seminars. Okay, if you've got the time. Dr. Kent Hovind. Okay, love this guy.
I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Remember, the first time Jesus came, he came as a lamb. This time he's coming as a lion. He's going to clean house. You're going to see the other side of God, the wrath of God. So he's coming on a white horse. Now, this idea of Jesus coming back on a white horse with us, people say, are there going to be animals in heaven? Well, there's at least horses. I would assume there's everything else too. I saw heaven.
I love that guy. All right. Let's see here. Philip Anthony Mitchell.
The Lord prophesied, the scriptures prophesied that a time is coming in history. It is not that far away, called the Great Tribulation period. Pay attention. That period is a period of 7 years in which during that period, a man, a political figure, a spiritual figure is going to rise, and he will be called the Antichrist. He will sign a 7-year peace treaty with the nation of Israel. And in the middle of that 7 years, he will break that treaty. And God during that time will unleash upon mankind a series of bold judgment, sign judgment, seal judgment. Man, it will be a time of suffering like the world has never seen since the beginning of humanity. In fact, we will learn next week that if God did not shorten that period down, all human beings would die during that period. And what people are going to suffer during that time will be so catastrophic, so devastating. The scripture says people will hope for death and not find it. Now hear me carefully. I believe that tribulation period is not far away. I believe we're in the final hours of the church age. Pay attention. I believe what we're doing right now is going to come to an end very soon. I believe soon and very soon the church is going to be removed. The world is going to enter to the church age. I believe the things I'm about to read to you right now, we're seeing the winds and the evidence of these things happening right now in society. And I believe, man, that we're probably in the final hours, the final minutes, the final seconds of the church age. And while we're in here playing church, playing conferences, playing books, playing preacher, playing worship leader, playing disciple, I'm telling you, many people are going to get caught off guard because I think that tribulation period, hear me, is right around the corner.
Amen. Then we have Bishop Marmari Manuel. All right, guys. Also, be warned, the YouTube live stream will end. Click that link in the description. Head over to Rumble.
And those who are worshiping Satan now, he'll burn them. See, Satan hates everyone with a passion, including those who worship him. Poor things. They're lost. They're worshiping someone who's going to burn them in the end. He hates everyone with a passion. And more so, he hates those who love the Lord. But he even hates those who worship him. When he's given that freedom, he will kill these witnesses. Look, how much power do they have? Changing the water into blood. Moses, bringing fire from heaven. Elijah, passing judgment onto the world. Enoch, so much power. They will strike the earth with as many plagues as they desire. They will be given power. Anybody to come and try to harm them, they'll have to be burned and killed. Yet when Satan is released and given full power, he will kill them. He will put the whole world in a concrete mixer, and he'll mix everyone together. He'll bring out a new concrete. I don't know, maybe 100 MPa that dries up in a split second. He will give him that permission. Fair is fair. You know why the Lord gives that even fairness to Satan? Because the people of the time would have walked away from the Lord. But even though he's giving Satan full freedom, he still have two witnesses to testify and say to people, come back and repent. The Lord will always have witnesses for himself, even if it's the last second of this entire world and in this entire life. He will always have a witness for himself, no matter what time it is and what place it is. Christ never leaves himself without a witness. In the heart of hell, he'll have two witnesses. So that's what the 3.5 years is. Just like Christ saved us in 3.5 years, He'll give Satan a chance to destroy the world in 3.5 years. But the Lord...
Curly, I'm going to look up a video real quick that I want you possibly to watch if you have the time later. Add it to your history. Let's see. Of course, it's not listening. Give me just a second. Okay, I found it. This is just what I believe. I wanted to share it with y'all. Let me see if I can do this right. So it'd be good for anybody who cares. Oh man, give me just a second. It's a good channel. All right. That'll give you a rounder view later on. All right, let's keep moving. All right, this will be the last clip here on YouTube.
Marked up. You have to have your own Bible used up. It's got to be dog-eared and worn because you have read it and studied it and prayed over it and cried in it. You can't live off what the preacher tells you every day or every Sunday. I come here with the truth the best I know how. I prepare my heart the best I know how. But my preaching cannot get you to heaven. You have to have a personal relationship, a brokenness about you, where you want Jesus and Jesus alone. Church can't satisfy a child of God unless Jesus is in the middle of it. No amount of religious activity can satisfy your soul. Only Jesus can quench the thirst of your heart and fill your empty belly. Only Jesus can make you what you ought to be and give you what you ought to have.
Amen. Amen. All right, folks. Oh, bear with me, man. I'm still going through it, trying to get over it. Continue to pray for us. If you'd like to help bless the channel, grab this URL. Click the share button. Send us to your best friend. Drop us in a Discord. However you think. Smash a like on your way out. Don't forget, grab the link in the description down below. The YouTube is about to go. The X is about to go. We're going to go over on Rumble and hang out for a little bit. All right, guys. Much love. Shout out to the channel members. Thank you so much, Dragon Slayer, for the super chat. I much appreciate that, brother. Thank you for the support, helping keep the lights on. We're going to have to go for now. Much love, everybody. Good night. We'll see you over on Rumble. Real fist, everybody.